Kuro. Today we're going to be rating characters, my OCs, from my Minecraft SMP, Centuries of Time SMP. Right now it is not an official SMP yet, but I'm hoping that one day I can, so I will be talking about my characters from here, starting with my own persona in the game, as well as every other design that me and my friends have came up with in stories. I will not be talking too much about them, giving you like brief descriptions, because it's kind of an excuse for me to talk about them, but we'll be ranking them in different kinds of tier lists that I think are really funny. So right now we're going to be rating them by design. So to start, we're going to start with my own character. This here is Kayakuro. She is my persona, and she's okay. I love her design a lot. I did work really hard, so I believe that she deserves my favorite spot. You know, I love her. She was one of my like OCs that I worked on really hard for in her story, and also I'm gonna give her an S tier. Alright, now we're gonna go on to one of my friend's OCs. This is my friend from school, and this is Red Prophet. They are the leader of an organization called Norio Graves, and she just runs the country. She's friends with like Kaya, and they have like a kind of friendship rivalry going on. I don't really know what to call it. Design wise, in the skin, not really much, but I really do love her like in general, so I'm gonna put her in A. And a fun thing about my character is that she's president of a city called Woodland City. Alright, now we're going on to Emrys. Emrys here, his design, I tried my best to work around what was given. He's an assassin, and he created an organization called the Dark Moons, and they kind of take on like corrupt governments, but in reality there's only like 2 of them. I'm not a big fan of how I did him, and this is kind of a little bit dirty. I don't really like it that much. So I'm gonna put him in C tier. Okay. This one's not my favorite. This is Hunter. He's the main antagonist mostly, kind of. Well, not really. He has his own problems in general, and he's kind of he's just a little bit I don't really like this design. I've thought about changing it, so I'm putting him in F. And by the way, these all 4 of these characters are all like demigods. Each of them have a reason on why they're like a demigod, which I maybe not explain now, but eventually you'll understand. Okay, now we're gonna go to the citizens of like Woodland City, and they work as like helpers for Kaya as the president. This is Echo. This is my brother's OC. He's okay design-wise. When I designed his skin, my brother like didn't give me off a lot like what to do with him, so I kind of just made it up. I find it a little funny. He has like the pigtails in the back, but his story's okay too. I wouldn't rate him like above a B, but I'd say like design-wise a little bit. He's like a C. He's like Emrys. Alright, and one of my favorites, I don't know why, but she's one of my favorites. This is Lori. Lori is the treasury of Kayakuro's like cabinet, and she's also a spy on the inside. If you know that, if you're a Hamilton fan, you might know what I mean by that. And she's literally one of my favorites. I love her design so much, and I'm rating it an S tier. Alright. Fun fact, if you read my description, it has said that I really love mushrooms, and that is very true. And when it came to designing Lux, it was like literally one of my favorite things to do. He was like done for like a school project, and I like fully fell in love with him. I wouldn't rate him an S tier because there is some elements in his design that I really do not like, but there is some stuff that I honestly really love, and I'm a little biased since I love mushrooms, so he's gonna go in A tier. Alright. And now we have the ex-judge of Woodland City. This is Clownstar. I don't know why I came up with that name. I found a lot of inspiration from like the old like Las Nevadas, and it gave me like the idea to just go out there and have like a jester. Almost, he runs like a casino too, so it makes sense. He runs the casino with Collides, which is, we'll talk about her in a little bit. So design wise, I really love what you can't see from this photo. There's like a mask on the side of him. He has like makeup, and he does like wears a suit, so it's not like the best, but I'll rate him in B tier. Alright, now we're gonna talk about one citizen from Northern Grave. This is Cindy. This is my other friend's OC. A single mother raising a son, which to be honest he's not on this list because to be honest he's not one of the main cast, but he's still in there somewhere. even though it's my friends. I really love the design too, and I've read the story, and I really love her. So I'm gonna rate her in B tier. Actually, maybe. I don't know, maybe C tier, because I'll go C tier. Okay, now we're gonna talk about Collides here. This is Collides is like, she's also a really good design. I'm not very fond of the shirt very much. I don't know what I was thinking, but the goggles and the hair are like one of my favorite parts of this costume. I'm gonna rate her probably C tier as well. Alright, so Collides, she works with Clownstar. She is like a good design. I just feel like I could have done better on the shirt. The hair and the goggles are probably my favorite. So I'm gonna rate her also C tier. Alright, and one the other member of the Dark Moons, Cyrus. I think the only part of the design on the skin, the only thing I really liked from this was his hair, because he has like a, I don't really think it's kind of dirty blonde, but he has like a patch of his hair that's just still brown. Ugh, I don't know. And the only reason I don't want to put it in C because there's other good designs that could have been there. I'm still gonna put it in C. Okay, next I'm going to do the pirates. And my friend loves this character, and I can't rate him lower than that, so let's see. This is Nearest. He's one of the two twins who runs Pirates Cove. And it's like on the outskirts of Willowland City, and they don't really like the gods that much. That's all you're gonna get. They don't really like them. So his design wise, love it. I love his hair too, so I'm gonna rate him A tier. Scylla, the other twin. By the way, she's the oldest. I'm just not gonna get into that though, because they may find out. This one over here she runs like the captain, like she runs the entire ship with brother, but the brother is more like the command. So Scylla, her design, it's kind of flat colored and it's not very shaded, so I'm gonna go with like a B tier. Next, we're gonna go with Crystal. Crystal is she was kind of a filler character, but she still like has a really good design. I have a drawing in my notebook of her, and I actually really love it. She wouldn't be like my first choice as like a favorite character, but if you like she's a princess, so I'm gonna put her in like design wise kind of D tier because I don't really like it that much. It's okay, I guess. All right, and then I want you to guess who this is. This is Ghost Eve. I'm not gonna talk about her that much because, to be honest, it ruined the entire plot. But Ghost Eve is a ghost. That's all you're getting. Ghost Eve isn't a ghost. But she's also one of my favorite designs. Love her too much, so S tier. Alright, our final design. I know there's like an extra here, but that's the same as this one. It was just an old design. But anyway, next design is the Void God. This is the only god I have designed right now because I needed it for something. I don't remember what it was, but I needed her. And it's kind of flattered too, so I'm gonna put D tier. Alright, so this is final design. We got 3 in S tier, Kaya, Lori, and Ghosty. We have A tier for Red, Lux, and Nearest. B tier for Clownstar and Scylla. C tier for Emrys, Echo, Cindy, Collides, and Cyrus. D for Crystal and the Void God. Or I think her name's Evignid or something. Evignesia or something. F tier for Hunter. I don't like your design. I'm sorry. I really just do not. Now we're gonna go on to some funny ones. I'll pull it up right now. Alright, now the characters are in court for their crimes. We're gonna go in order again, based on how I know their personalities a little bit better than most people. So we're gonna just see what happens when they get in court for their crimes. Alright. So, Kaya. So, technically she's my persona, so she kind of is like me. If I were in court, I feel like I would confess immediately, but I don't think I think she would swear that she's innocent, to be honest. So, I'm gonna put her on pleads for mercy and they're innocent. Next, Red. This person here is honestly a menace. Probably would go to jail for something they did. She'd probably say, I'll do it again. I don't know what it is she did, but she did it. Or she'd start running, maybe. Nah, she'd probably stand up and be like, hey, yeah, I'll do it again. Next, Emerus. I feel like he'd start running. Like, I feel like he would stay because, yeah, he's an assassin, but I feel like he'd run. Like, he'd just start running. He'd be like, oh, dang it, I just got caught, and then just starts running. Hunter. He's the king, he'd probably bail himself out. But in reality, he'd probably do it again. let's be honest, he'll do it again. For go. Probably. He'd confess immediately. Like, he'd be like, gosh dang it. Or he's like too innocent to go to jail. He is a guard. Plus vice president, so... I don't know. Would he just cry, or would he... I think he'd say too innocent to go to jail. Or maybe... No, actually, I feel like he would swear for his innocence, because I feel like he wouldn't have done anything. He'd probably just be like, gosh dang it, I'm not innocent anymore, or something like that. Alright, Lori. She's too innocent to go to jail. Obviously. She wouldn't do anything. That's what's dangerous. Because she's a spy on the inside. Hamilton thinks. Okay. Then we got... What are they doing next? Oh, yeah, us. Lux, he'd probably just cry. Because he'd be like, gosh dang it. What? I didn't do anything, and just starts crying. Next. Bone Star. He'd run. I feel like he'd do something, because he'd probably run, to be honest. He's currently on the run. I don't know what he did, but he's currently on the run. Alright, Collides. I think they would also kind of just cry. They'd be like, what? Like, what did I do? And they'd just start crying. Maybe. And I'll do it again. Would be a... That's... I don't think she'd do it again. I think she'd plead for Mercy, and swears they're innocent. Yeah. Next, we have Cindy. She's also a kind of a guard. I don't think maybe she confesses immediately. And I'll do it again. Please, Mercy swears they're innocent. I think she's currently on the run, bro. She'd probably run. She'd be like, gosh dang it, and then start running again too. I keep saying gosh dang it, but it's because like I have nothing else to say. Okay, now we're gonna go to Cyrus. I think he'd confess immediately. He'd be like, yeah, it was me, guys. I'm sorry. Something like that. Alright, pirates time. Scylla probably would do it again. To be honest. She's a pirate. She'd probably do it again. Mirrors? He'd probably confess immediately. I think he'd break when they were like, you did it! And then he'd confess immediately. Crystal probably also would confess immediately. Or, just I'm too innocent, she'd also break out, to be honest, because she's got money too. Or, I feel like she would cry. She'd be like, oh, she'd start crying. Alright, Ghost Steve. She's a ghost. I don't know how they'd probably get her into jail. So I'd say she's currently on the run, because she probably got out of jail and got out. Alright, now they've gotten into a school fight. Oh my god, these OCs, I cannot keep up with them. I tell you, no matter how much I try, they will not, will not behave. Alright, so we're gonna go down the list, and again, as the original OCs, in order. Kaya. So what we have here right now is we have narrating everything to hype everyone up, live streaming it, jumps in to stop the fight, jumps in to join the fight, walks away thinking it's stupid. Can you just let me pass? Getting a teacher, the one's fighting. So Kaya, I don't know. I think she'd be trying to get to class. She'd be like, can you just let me pass already? But I think she'd probably also be like, what the heck, guys? What are you doing? Maybe she'll stop the fight. I think she'd try to stop it. Be like, guys, but this is not the way we do things around here. There's a better way. Like, playing rock, paper, scissors or something. I don't know. That's how you solve an argument. Just play rock, paper, scissors, rock, paper, scissors, shoe. Anyway. Red. Probably the one fighting. Let's be honest. Or would jump into the fight to join. So I feel like she'd be the one fighting. Next. Emerus. I think he'd just think walking away thinking it was like really stupid because he'd be like, why are you guys fighting? Like, there's no point. Hunter, probably also the one fighting. Because this guy here loves to fight people, I guess, for no reason. Alright. Next. Echo. Probably one getting the teacher. He'd be like, Miss, you know, like, they're fighting out there. I don't know why, you know. Or he'd be like, can you just let me pass? I need to go do my work or something. Yeah, he'd be like, can you just let me pass? Okay, and next one. Lori is probably running away out of fear. She'd be like, oh my god, no, they're fighting. We gotta get out of here or something, you know. Next, we have Lux. I think he'd also kind of walk away in fear, be like, dang it, this... Maybe not Lori. I feel like Lori is also kind of strong. She wouldn't fully run. I feel like she'd be getting a teacher. Be like, they're not supposed to be fighting in the halls or something. These two are fighting each other. They have some beef with each other. This one's just like, just let me pass. He walks away thinking it's like stupid Emerus here. Okay. Clown Star. Wait, that's the wrong Clown Star. I think he'd be live streaming the entire thing, be like, or even like narrating it, like trying to hype everyone up. He'd kind of be both, but I think he'd be... What do you think? Narrating it? Live streaming it? I feel like he'd be both, but in general, I don't think he'd be narrating it. I think he'd be live streaming it. Alright, now we got... Cindy. I think she'd also be like, can you just let me pass? Or think it's like really stupid because she's like a guard. She'd be like, why are you guys fighting? Like, there's no point. So I feel like she'd be like, gosh dang it, this is so stupid. Like, why are you guys doing this? Okay, next we have Cyrus. Cyrus? I don't know. He's kind of also a little... He's serious, but he also can be funny. I don't know. I feel like he'd be narrating it. I think he's like that kind of guy who would be like, okay, this is going on, like, what is going on, you know? No, actually... No, I feel like... Maybe he'd also be like... I don't know, would he get like a teacher? To me, this is kind of hard, because he's kind of serious. Maybe I'll think about it right now. Okay, let's go to Collides. Collides obviously would be narrating. If you like had to imagine Collides as like a character that already exists, just think Pinkie Pie. Because to be honest, that's what she is. It's a little like ball of joy. And I love it. Alright, now we're gonna go to the pirates. Scylla. Probably... I don't know. She'd probably also be like the one fighting. I think she'd start fighting people. Too. I don't know why she has beef with everyone. Nearest would definitely jump in to join the fight. He's just that kind of guy. I don't know how to describe what he is. I like imagine him being like that one character from Descendants, like the hook guy. That's how I imagine him. I also imagine him like being a little bit like Sokka. So he's kind of just, if you watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. Okay, Crystal would probably also try to like walk away in fear of the fight. Okay, now that I see it, maybe I think Cyrus would also try to go get a teacher. Be like, Miss, like they're fighting in the halls. Ghost Steve, I don't think she'd run away in fear. Well, she's a ghost. So she'd probably just walk away and like just be like, hey, bro, I'm just here as a ghost. God. She actually I wouldn't really put her in here because she's probably like the teacher. Let me add like a thing. She's the teacher. If I spell teacher wrong, I'm sorry. I'm not very good with my English spelling sometimes. She's the teacher. So this is our tier list. Collide's just narrating everything. They'd be like the awesome duo. She'd be like narrating everything, and then Clownstar would be like live streaming everything. I'd try to stop it. In real life, no, I'd probably not try to, but it'd be like, gosh, I'm just gonna walk away, you know? Being it stupid. Okay, we're gonna do one more tier list, and I'm gonna try to find a really funny one so we can do it. Alright, we are reaching our end of the video, and this is the last one we're gonna do today. And I didn't put the title. Gosh dang it. Here's the title. Finds a spider in the room. Alright. Here we go. Here comes Kaya. In my opinion, I'm not afraid of spiders, but I have, like, when I see one, I honestly got scared. I think I'd run away and be like, gosh dang, there's a spider in my room, and the spider can keep my room now. You know, I'd be running out of my room. Alright, now we got red. Probably put the spider on the above person's room. I'm gonna tell you, I know who this is gonna be, because I've said it multiple times on who it was. Emrys? I feel like he doesn't care. I think he'd be like, this is normal for me. I'm gonna put it under the bed. Now, for the person intentionally screaming like a little girl, would be Hunter. He'd either be the one screaming like a little girl, or he'd be running away and be like, the spiders can have my room now or something. But honestly, he'd be screaming like a little girl, be like, oh my god, and then start screaming. Now we got Echo. He probably... I think he'd be like, oh my god, what the freak, get it out of there. Or like, no, he probably doesn't notice because he's playing video games or something. Even though it's not, my world isn't actually based on a modern, even though it's like set in that time, it's more like a fantasy slash, I don't know really, it's kind of modern, but it isn't. It's like a bunch of mix of it. It's all like different centuries, and that's why it's called Centuries of Time SMP. Fuck story there. Actually, funny story about that. The original name was supposed to be like Legacy of Time, and I think the original, the first name we came up with was Nightcore SMP. I don't know why we thought about that. I thought it was funny. But we originally had now changed it to Centuries of Time SMP because it made sense with all these different people from different centuries, time periods, and stuff like that. Next, we have Lori. I feel like she'd be like, oh, my poor baby, and she'd try to put it outside because she's so sweet and kind. She wouldn't hurt a fly. Emrys? I mean, sorry, not Emrys. He'd probably go running for the hills. Fun fact about this guy, really is afraid of mobs, and if we're gonna compare the spider, either it's a small spider or the ones in Minecraft, I would be scared too. I would be getting away. The spider can have my room now, and so can Lex be like, hey, yeah, you can have room now. Sorry, my mouse has been acting up, guys. Ah, okay. Next, we have our beloved Clown Star. I think he'd be like, what the frick, and get out of there. Like why is he here? He's like, gosh dang it. It's the spider. It's here. I think Cindy wouldn't notice. I think she'd be asleep. Like, uh-oh, you know, she'd be asleep. Wouldn't notice. Okay, next, Cyrus. They would probably, I think he'd be chill. I think he'd be like, as long as it doesn't hurt me, I think we're chill, you know? I don't think he would be like really scared of it. He's kind of a chill, serious guy, but he also got like a funny side, so I feel like if it doesn't like hurt me, I think I'll be fine. Kind of dude. Okay, Collides. Maybe she'd also scream like a little girl, but I think she'd like also be like it doesn't notice because she's like playing video games or something. You know? She'd be like, oh, you know, it's up there. I can't see it. So, I think she wouldn't care. I think she'd be like, oh well, you know, there's a spider, it's like a normal day. Even though they probably don't get spiders at sea. So, that makes a lot of sense why she'd probably be like, oh, it's a spider. Like, not worried about it. Nearest? Probably all asleep. I think he'd fall asleep and be like, huh? Oh, actually, no, he'd be chill about it. He'd be like, as long as it doesn't hurt me, I think we're chill, you know? Crystal? Probably also screaming like a girl. She'd probably find it and be like, oh my god, there's a spider in my room, oh no. You know? Okay, Ghost Steve doesn't have reaction. I think she wouldn't care because she's a ghost. She'd be like, oh, well, there's a spider. Probably is also the one who put the spider in the room because they love chaos, I guess. Alright, you know, this is the end of the tier list. I hope, if you guys like really love this series, I hope to make some more like fun ones, whatever I find, because I got a whole bunch waiting to do it. If you want me to do it with like maybe Unstable or even like other Minecraft or even with my own OCs, if you really love hearing like me do all these funny ones with them, I'm totally open for that. Also, if you're like willing to, if you want to be like one of these characters or even like you want to start participating, I'm willing to get people to come and do it. Or like you take on one of these characters, almost like an OC adopt, you know? You just take on the role as a character. You can even keep like their name and ID, you know, like they're like little stuff. I have a whole thing on them, you know? if you're like looking for something to do that, or even just to voice act them, totally cool with me. You know, I would love to see if you have like a voice similar to them, you know. If you guys ever want to do that, that's totally cool. If you like want more OC art, because I have a whole bunch of them, or like more about them, and you want me to like start making content on this specific SMP, I'm open to that too. Just like, you know, giving me your ideas and all that. I have a story prepared. I just need to get it like working, you know. But you know, I hope that I'll be able to make this SMP a reality. You know, I'm really excited to show off these characters and the story and plot for them. I really cannot hold in how much I really love to share Kaya's story and her origin, really, and all of their origins, you know. So if you really do love this video, please like subscribe. You know, I know a lot of people say that, but it would help a lot just to see that people really love this story. You know, comment too. I love reading your guys' comments and like responding to you guys, because it just makes me, it just shows that, oh, there's people actually wanting to hear about this. You know. So, you know, thank you for watching, and hopefully I can start making more of these videos, and more funny ones, or even drawings, or like stuff you guys want to learn how to draw. Totally. This is Kaya out, but hopefully to see you in the next video.